The conference in Abuja was grander than Tobi imagined. Delegates from across the continent, NYSC officials, journalists, and young leaders filled the auditorium. Tobi sat backstage, palms sweaty. When his name was called, he took a deep breath and stepped into the spotlight. He didn't read a script. He told the story. About Osagi, about trust, betrayal, courage, about a stolen phone that taught him what character truly meant. As he spoke, faces in the audience changed, some nodding, some teary, some stunned. When he finished, the applause was thunderous. Later, a woman approached him. "I'm with the AU Youth Council. We'd love to feature your story in our Leadership Development series." Tobi blinked. "Thank you." But in the crowd, one figure lingered longer than the rest. A woman in a brown hijab standing by the back exit. Their eyes met. She smiled faintly, then disappeared. Amira. The conference ended, but the doors it opened stayed wide. Tobi was offered a spot on the National Youth Integrity Council. He could stay in Zaria and teach, or move to Abuja and work on youth policy. He returned home, conflicted. The quiet life in Zaria brought healing, but the chance to make real change stirred something deep. He visited Halima, told her everything. She nodded. "I'll miss you if you go, but this is bigger than Zaria." He looked around, her bookshelves, the teacups they often used, the windows that held sunsets. "Come with me?" he asked. She smiled. "Let's see where this goes." On the morning of his departure, Tobi visited the old NYSC orientation camp. The parade ground was dusty. The hostels echoed with silence, but the memories were loud. He walked to the exact spot by the bonfire, closed his eyes. In the breeze, he heard laughter, felt the heat, saw shadows, dancing, hiding, betraying. He placed a small stone on the ground. "For Osagi," he whispered. Another, "For Nkechi." A third, "For me." And a final one, "For her." Then he turned, stepped away, not as someone running, but as someone rising. Abuja was different, fast, demanding, political. But Tobi adapted. He sat in rooms with directors, reviewed youth development plans, and led workshops. His story continued to inspire. He started a podcast, Service and Selfhood, where core members shared their truths. Osagi visited once. "You've become a city boy," he joked. Tobi laughed. "Only on weekdays." Halima adjusted too. She joined a women's history research unit. They rented an apartment in Gwarimpa, painted the walls themselves. Every Sunday, they sat on the balcony with tea. Silent sometimes, but content. A year later, at another NYSC orientation, Tobi was invited to speak. As he watched the fresh core members, wide-eyed, nervous, hopeful, he smiled. He took the stage and began. "I once thought NYSC was just a one-year assignment, but I learned it could change everything. A fire once stole our peace, but it also revealed our light." He saw a few nods, a few tears, and in that moment he knew. He hadn't just survived the bonfire. He had become something because of it. Not just a survivor, a storyteller, a light bearer. The podcast Tobi had started, Service and Selfhood, began to grow. It wasn't just NYSC members tuning in now. Civil servants, university students, and even retired professionals listened to the stories of growth, betrayal, and courage. One day, after releasing an episode titled "The Campfire That Changed Me," Toby received a letter through the Youth Council office. No stamp, no sender name. It read, "Your words reached me. Thank you for speaking, for healing in public. We all carry scars, some self-inflicted. I'm still learning how to carry mine." Toby folded the letter carefully. He didn't need a signature to know it was Amira. He didn't reply, but he read it twice, then stored it in a file marked Grace. Back in Makurdi, Nkechi was blossoming. Her teaching style had earned her a local award, and she was considering running for the local education board. She called Toby one night, giggling. "I said yes." Toby blinked. "To what?" "To Chuka, the fellow teacher. He proposed." Toby broke into a grin. "About time!" They laughed. "You're my best man," she added. He paused. "I'm honored, Keiichi. Really. I want everyone who walked through fire with me to witness the beauty that came after." The wedding was set for early the next year. Asagi was writing a custom poem for the day. Halima was helping plan a surprise dance. Joy, for once, felt unshaken. At Nkeichi's wedding, the air buzzed with music and the scent of native dishes. Guests wore vibrant colors. Laughter flowed like palm wine. Toby stood near the stage, watching Asagi perform a poem about second chances. Then, he noticed a figure by the gate. Brown hijab, sunglasses, familiar stance. Amira. She didn't come close, just watched from a distance. When Toby approached, she smiled faintly. "I'm not here to cause drama," she said. "Just wanted to see her happy." "You could come closer," Toby offered. "Maybe someday. Today, I just needed to see what peace looks like." She left before the ceremony ended. Toby never told Nkeichi she came. Months later, Halima faced a dilemma. Her research unit had offered her a scholarship abroad for a 2-year program in gender studies in Sweden. "I want to go," she said one evening, seated beside Toby on their balcony. "But I also want us." Toby took her hand. "We're not ending. We're evolving." They made a pact. Long distance for now. Shared calendars. Sunday video calls. The night before her flight, they sat in silence. Halima kissed his cheek. "Thank you for making Zaria a chapter I'll never forget." He nodded. "And thank you for reminding me that the future can still surprise us." With Halima away, Toby threw himself into work. The Youth Council named him coordinator for the Northwest. His podcast got picked up by a national radio station. One day he was invited to consult on a bill aiming to improve Nutri-space transparency and grievance channels. Sitting in a room with senators, he realized how far he'd come. He recommended a new ethics orientation at all camps, more whistleblower protections, trauma counseling for victims of misconduct. As he presented, someone whispered, "That's the core member from the Zaria scandal." Toby stood tall. "That scandal became my fuel. This is what we do with our pain. We build with it." Sagi's poetry collection, Smoke and Sunrise, was nominated for a national literary prize. Toby traveled down to surprise him at the award ceremony. "You didn't tell me you were coming?" Osagi exclaimed. Toby grinned. "I wanted to see the look on your face." Though Osagi didn't win, he received a special mention for social commentary. The media began calling him the conscience poet. After the ceremony, they sat under a mango tree reminiscing. "Do you ever miss camp?" Toby asked. Osagi nodded. "Not the place, but the people we became there." Halima's voice remained a balm, even through the distance. Weekly video calls were filled with laughter, shared articles, and long pauses that meant everything. One Sunday, Tobi asked, "Do you think we can do this long term?" Halima smiled. "I think we already are." She sent him a parcel for his birthday, a hand-woven bookmark, a handwritten poem, and a photo of the first snow in Sweden. Tobi replied with a video of his students singing happy birthday to him in Hausa. Across the seas, their hearts still aligned. Halima returned. The airport reunion was quiet. No dramatic run or tears. Just two souls walking toward each other with knowing smiles. "Hi," she said, touching his hand. "Hi," he replied. "You're home." They moved into a new place together in Abuja. Simple, cozy, full of light. That evening, Halima unpacked and found the old box of letters Tobi had once written to Amira. "Still keeping these?" she asked. Tobi nodded. "They remind me who I used to be and how far I've come." She placed the box on the top shelf. "Then let them stay as history." Invited Tobi as keynote speaker. This time, it was held at the same NYSC orientation camp in Kaduna where everything began. He walked the grounds slowly, past the parade field, the lecture halls, and the fire pit. During his speech, he said, "Some flames destroy, others forge. A single bonfire reshaped my life. What looked like loss became the beginning of truth." The crowd applauded, but his eyes lingered on one seat in the back, empty, yet somehow filled with memory. The night after the summit, Tobi and Halima sat under the stars outside their hotel. She rested her head on his shoulder. "Do you ever think about what could have been?" she asked. Tobi nodded. "But I've learned to trust what is." He pulled out a notebook. On the first page, he scribbled, "New book idea, The Bonfire Diaries." Halima smiled. "Start it tomorrow." "No," Tobi said, watching the flames in a nearby lantern dance. "I already have."